Yeah, there's a song in my head. Look at all the helmets. There's using my podcast mic right there. Sorry, I'm just going to turn off the, not turn off the lights. Close the door. Do two things at once, hold the computer and do that. I know that was so riveting, wasn't it? Watching me close the door. I know. It's what you come here for, right? But anyways. Time for another season of football. It's gonna be a fun one. Look forward to it. Here, welcome here, as I should say, welcome here to the Sports Talk Network, and specifically welcome here to Talking Packers with Steve. Are you ready for some football? I know I am. Let's go. I'm looking forward to seeing all the games. Looking forward to seeing how this season happens in regards to the COVID situation. If it does go without a hitch, we have all the games. We go to the playoffs. With the new playoffs, we have We have more teams in the playoffs now. Next season, I think we'll start having 18 weeks, 17 games of a schedule. So things are on the move in regards to that. So, and for the playoffs, there will only be one team getting a bye week. That's number one overall seed, not 1 and 2, just number one. 2 through 7, but it's certainly going to be interesting because then you'll have 7 each round, 1 through 7 each, or whatever. Anyways, the point is, I think it'll be interesting to see how things go. If you're watching live, welcome to say hi there in the chat. But yeah, it's going to be fun in regards to here. We're going to review each and every week how we're going to do it. I'm going to go through the score. For these games, the Packer game will be the last game I predict. Then of course I'll show the helmets of the teams of the matchup of the week that I have for me. I like to do that. Hopefully not. Hmm. Sorry, just doing this. All right, sorry, I'm just hurrying up to do this in regards to before I wait to start. Been waiting for people to come in, waiting for people to join, other things. So I'm just so sorry about that. Anyways, I did do an episode before, but now we wanted to redo it, be able to get things done, be able to um, talk about the week one and the games and all that other stuff. Oh, hey, I did see someone joined here. So before,
Peace. Peace. What's up?
hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's happening? I'm here. So I was going to come join in for a few minutes, man. I'm in the building. What's happening?
Hey, not much, and stay as long as you can, or and however long you can. But I guess the first question I have for you, man, is so obviously I don't know you personally. What team do you rep in the NFL?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, shoot.
He said, oh.
Well, depend, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be staying here long, and that also reminds me. Then, or it doesn't remind me. It just makes me think. Our teams face each other this season, so
Absolutely. That's right.
I might have to have you on. I'm going to have you on when it's Tampa Bay week.
Okay. No problem.
Here in Green Bay.
I got you.
When it's time to take down Brady. But
yeah, we'll see about that.
You're right.
Y'all gotta come see. You gotta come see us. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You gotta come see us. So we'll see about taking down Brady and all. I feel good about my Bucks, but
hey, you should.
At first I wasn't with it because I'm a long time Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan from way back, and Tom Brady, I have a thing against him. So now he's my quarterback, and we got Rob Gronkowski, so that adds insult to injury,
Yeah.
But I think we have a young team, we have a lot of weapons. We added Leonard Fournette, I think, which really gives us a leg up, so to speak, in the running game now. Because I was worried about the running game. I was worried about Ronald Jones. You know what I mean? LaShawn McCoy. I was like, you know what I mean? But I think that with Leonard Fournette, I think he's got a new start, a new energy. He's going to definitely be effective doing his thing, carrying the load for us. And I think the offensive line, I think that's going to be the main issue right now, is where we're at with the offensive line. We can, keep Brady upright. We'll be okay.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's number one concern. That was my number one concern for your team, and I think you guys addressed that. Number one, addressed it in regards to your first round pick.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs, right?
Yes, sir. So I think you'll be able to do that. If you were watching the show 2 years ago here of my podcast, I was saying 2 years ago I thought Tampa was going to make be that team out of nowhere, because every year there's that one team that comes from out of nowhere, from the bottom, from the doldrums of their division, and surprise people like, where the heck did this come from?
Right.
I thought Tampa Bay, that year I predicted Tampa Bay and Jacksonville to be the two teams. In the end, it was just Jacksonville, but I thought it was going to be both Tampa Bay and Jacksonville doing that 2 years ago, heading into the 2018-19 season. So, but now with Tampa Bay having Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Leonard Fournette, I think definitely the team to beat. And as I was going to show later, I might as well just show now for my game of the week. My game of the week this week, as I do each and every week during the season, my helmets. I do have all 32. The game of the week is, of course, we got the Saints against the Buccaneers. So for the game of the week, and for that one, I am predicting Tampa to get the win. There, I might as well just say that right now while you're on here. We're talking about your team. My prediction is Tampa Bay over New Orleans 24-16, 24-16, Tampa Bay over New Orleans. So since I have you for however long I do, how do you predict for your team's first game in New Orleans to start off the season?
You know what? I think at the end of the day, Tampa Bay is going to come out, with a win. Of course, that's my squad, but I'm gonna keep it realistic as possible. I'm not really expecting too much in this first couple of weeks of the season because again, we know there's no preseason. It just jumping right from the playbook right into the fire. I think that New Orleans has problems internally with the Drew Brees situation from earlier this year. And then, the last week talking about, I'm trying to maybe possibly move Alvin Kamara. So I think that that's some things that they have to, deal with internally. But defensively, I think the Saints are right there. They've lost, playoffs 3 years in a row now in crushing fashion. But I think that Tampa Bay is ready. It's going to be a new beginning. Two 40-year-old quarterbacks going at it from week one, Drew Brees and Tom Brady. That's going to be very entertaining. Both teams have great offenses. You know what I mean? Breeze got Michael Thomas and those guys that do their thing. And then Tom Brady comes right back with Mike Evans and Godwin and the three tight end monster. So I think the Tampa Bay is going to win, though. I think it's going to be a defensive play. I think the Tampa Bay defense is going to make a defensive play against New Orleans. I think now these 3 years, you know what I mean, that they've been to, maybe the edge and haven't got, over that hump has done something to them. I think this is the year they're going to take that step back. And I think Tampa Bay is going to, show that, this week. And I think it's going to be a good game. But I think, the defense of Tampa Bay is going to come up big. My score prediction, I'm going to say Tampa Bay 24, New Orleans 20. It's always a dramatic situation with a Buccaneers game. You already know that. You know what I mean? It's always dramatics. So I think it's going to come down to the end. I think the Buccaneers are going to make a defensive play to hold to get the win on the road.
Overall, I wanted to ask you in regards to how the NFL has how they've handled in regards to the COVID-19 situation and the football season going. So I guess my questions in a group would be: do you think the NFL season will go through as planned, make it to the end, crown a Super Bowl champion? Do you think they handled it correctly? And in regards to the Black Lives Matter, in regards to the NFL there, Colin Kaepernick being put back in the Madden game, all that. I guess just want to get your overall thoughts on those overlapping NFL topics.
Okay. I'll start with the COVID-19 because that's the prevailing situation where we're in right now. I think that, I was one of those who earlier in the year, Steve, said that the NFL wouldn't start on time because looking at what everybody else was going through and where the pandemic was. And I think that here we are, man, September 9th. We're on the eve of the NFL season. They're starting on time. I got to give them credit for that. I got to give them credit for it. Definitely have to give them credit for it. They're starting on time. As far as players being affected, I mean, I think they're more opting out than that have been affected with with the COVID-19. So that's also, if you could call it a positive sign, it's a positive sign for me because again, those players, who decide to opt out, they did so on, with their family situation and thinking about, the long run. I'm not mad at that. As far as the Black Lives Matter situation is concerned, I think that all of that is too little, too late for me. We've been talking about what is needed in the in our Black community and overall, man. You know what I mean? I think what they're doing right now it's a good gesture, but I mean they have to be continuous with it. We're going to see how it's going to continue. Are we still going to be talking about this in week 16? Or are we going to be talking about how the NFL has made strides? You know what I mean? And they've really acted upon the words that they said. I mean, you could put Black Lives Matter in the end zone all you want. You know what I mean?
Right,
show me some initiatives. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
I get
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I get what you mean there. You can slap stickers wherever you want. You have to also do bigger things in your community and in an organization to show that you actually care, that you're listening to the cries from the Black community or the African American.
Absolutely.
So I myself, as a Peruvian American, the Hispanic culture, things in regards to my own ethnicity and my own, situation or feelings on the matter, kind of, I would almost say being in the middle, because obviously I'm not Black and I'm not white. But in a Hispanic, kind of sense of thinking, that I definitely, understand your side of it 100%, and I think with the NFL and other companies and organizations that need to do more than just talk about it. And I mean, do more than just talk about, they just, do these things and then all the way to the election, and then the election happens and then it all goes away. Then that's, it's not really, to me, affecting and doing actual change. Like change is actually implementing things that are going to be there for a long time. There that it actually is going to change things. That's the freaking term of it, change. So, from my aspect of my thinking, from my perspective, in that regard, I definitely agree with you there, 100,000% for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see if the NFL will be able to back up what they're saying now and keep it the conversation, as you said, week 16 in the playoffs, when they maybe want to just more focus on the actual games, on the games than of the movement. So hopefully that isn't the case, and they are still focused on it. They are actually willing to change, listening to their players, which is over 60% African American. So I would think that it'd be behoove Roger Goodell and behoove the NFL to do so and be able to, and I'm sure they're more than able to and capable to be able to actually do things. But beyond that, I just want to get your thoughts on that in regards to the bigger picture, the bigger things in regards to the NFL. One thing I'm worried about and players and the effect of it is injuries, like you said. And there's no preseason coming off the practice. Von Miller gets injured in one of the final plays of practice in Denver. I forgot if it was contact or non-contact injury, but still, could be out for the year possibly.
Right.
The first game, you could have some of your marquee players or not, whatever, and an NFL player get injured due to, in regards to rust, a gameplay rust, because you don't have. I know fans out there dislike the preseason. It's what's the point? Why are we having this? What's up? I see it as something that matters because I know it matters to a good amount of the NFL roster because they're those that are undrafted, late draft picks, trying to fight for a spot, even higher drafted picks. I would say one to first to third round, earning their spots and keep. So, those matter to them to make the roster, to make the 53. Here, making the 53-man roster in regards to the franchise, and I got to give them credit on this, it was a little bit tougher because you don't have the play to show. You have the practices, but not the actual game tape film to see, you not fit here, sort of thing. So, I think that's going to be the biggest issue in regards to the players that do play of the first few games. We might have a lot of injury reports for all 32. In that regard, and then how that affects you depending on who the player is. You don't want to have game one of the season and you have Rob Gronkowski and Dominican Sue out for the year. So I know teams are trying to keep their players healthy and they want to play and they're going to play. They're going to play 100% full bore, but that's just where my concern is in regards to the players for the first week. Are you worried about that, or how are you feeling, guys? Do you think they're just ready to go?
I mean, at the end, you have to be worried about it, man, because again, at the end of the day, man, these guys don't know what the hell is going on. They're just going out there kind of blind. They've been, dealing with friendly fire for the past, 6 to 8 weeks as far as their practices. They haven't hit anybody of the opposing team. You know what I mean? They haven't, gone up against somebody who's trying to get at them. Everything else is just practice and they're just working it out. I was really looking forward to, seeing Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? I was really looking forward to seeing, these, the Chase Youngs of the world. But now without that, that 2 or 3 or 4 week cushion of preseason, they're throwing them into the fire, right into the fire, man. And I don't know, man. And again, as far as injuries, you already know it's going to be a list of injuries, man. And I think that the way you play it is to play it smart right now, is to play these first couple of games. I know they're real games. I get it. I know. But again, you'd rather be safe than sorry. Like you said, you don't want to have Ndamukong Suh or James Jones, in your case, go down for the year, due to some kind of injury that could have been prevented if he was just sitting on the bench, getting right. You know what I mean? Because again, like I said, the season's not going to really get into full swing until October or November. These first couple of weeks, everybody's going to be – they're going to try – and I hate to say this, though, Steve, man. They're going to to me, it seems like they're going to treat them like exhibition games. And what I mean by that, the
That's what I
starters are
was.
going to. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking too. I know it sucks to maybe from other fans of the Buccaneers, Packers, and all the other
right,
teams, but I think it'd be best because you got to think of it long term. You got to think of it
right,
through the season,
right,
where you want to see this in the Super Bowl. For
right.
you want to see that. You want to see your team make it into the playoffs. So yeah, it matters. And yes, these games do count. They do
Mm-hmm,
count in the record book,
mm-hmm.
but whether you win or lose, you're trying to be able to be as healthy and strong as you can be to make it to
Absolutely,
the end of the season.
absolutely.
So
That's
I was
right.
thinking about that. I was thinking, formerly used to have 4 preseason games. Maybe even the first 4 weeks of this season will be used like preseason in a varying extent. Of course, in regards to getting players acclimated. Obviously, not in the sense of starters playing short time. No, they will play the
Mm-hmm,
full game, but
mm-hmm,
just in regards to how they approach it and for the
mm-hmm,
players and
mm-hmm.
coaching and
I
as
get
well.
it.
So I hear
Right.
you, sir. Yeah, I agree for 100% there in that regard. For our teams, for all the teams, there. I know last week for me, I went through all 32 teams, predicted the records, the Super Bowl, all that blah 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 fun stuff. Since I have you here, who do you predict to be in the Super Bowl, and who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
All right. Yeah, I do a show on Tuesday nights, man. After Further Review 2.0, aka the Sideline Pass. And I went through all the divisions. I went through the conferences. I went through the playoffs and the Super Bowl. To keep a long story short, man, the NFC, man, is going to be very, very tough, man. I see my Buccaneers winning the NFC South. I see my Buccaneers winning the NFC. I see a whole new direction as far as the NFC is concerned. I think that as far as the East is concerned, I think Dallas and Philadelphia are going to be at each other's throat the whole season. But watch out for the Giants. I think the Giants might do some things. All right. In the end, because I'm up here in New York, and I'm liking how Joe Judge is being acclimated himself to the team outside of what's going on in their secondary. But they had to cut Bubba Baker DeAndre Baker. And
Mm-hmm.
so, again, that's what it is with the Giants. So in the NFC North, I like Minnesota. You know what I mean? Even though, they lost Everson Griffin, but they did do some things. Dalvin Cook, his health is going to be a big issue for Minnesota. But I like them in the North. The NFC South, I already said Tampa Bay. The NFC West, I like the San Francisco 49ers. I think they still have a bad taste in their mouth from having a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl, and they lost. I like that. I like the Niners in the NFC West. As far as the NFC playoffs, concerned, I think that Tampa Bay can win an NFC championship game. They can win an NFC championship game. I think they will win the NFC championship game. It's going to be the Buccaneers. I think against the 49ers, and the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC championship. All right. So on the AFC side, I think the Buffalo Bills, man, they were all ready to crown themselves the new champions of the AFC East. But I think Cam Newton changed that thinking. The New England Patriots, they should win the AFC East. They should win the AFC East. I'm not worried about Buffalo. I don't trust them. You know what I mean? They gave a playoff game away last year in Houston. I don't trust them. I don't think the Dolphins are ready yet. And as far as the Jets are going, they hustling backwards. So I don't worry about them. So I think that the New England Patriots are going to win the division, the AFC East. The AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens. But I think the surprise team in the AFC and the AFC North specifically that nobody's talking about is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think with Ben Roethlisberger coming back, I think they're on a mission. All right. I got Baltimore winning the AFC North, though. The AFC South, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I like with Phillip Rivers. He has new energy. That offensive line is the truth. He's got, Marlon Mack, and I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be an asset for them. He's got some receivers to throw to. That defense is okay. I think Indianapolis could do some things in the South. In the AFC West, of course, Kansas City, without saying. But I think a surprise team, like I said, another surprise team to watch in the AFC is going to come out the West is the Denver Broncos. Even though, Von Miller, that injury came in a real bad time for them. but they were hot last year at the end of last year. I think 5-1 at the end of last year. Okay, I like Drew Lock. Okay, Jerry Judy is just going to be a prize for him to throw to. Okay, I like what the Denver Broncos could do. But as far as coming out of the AFC is stacked, my guy. You can go, from top to bottom. The AFC is definitely stacked. But you know what? I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out of the AFC because I think that they have a point to prove. I think that Ben Roethlisberger, has kind of been the forgotten guy. I think he's going to win AFC Comeback Player of the Year. Okay, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be in the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be the first team to ever play the Super Bowl in their home stadium, and nobody's going to be there.
Yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate, but yeah, that'd be certainly exciting if that was the case. I mean, I know they were going to have WWE WrestleMania at Raymond James, and they weren't able to do that due to COVID. They had it in the Performance Center. So now for the NFL for the Super Bowl, I'm sure that'd be great to have Tampa Bay be there, not only be there, win a Super Bowl there in their home stadium there as well. But yeah, I do remember you have your own show there. I just so busy lately in regards to not seeing it, but.
Let me ask you a question, not to cut your wisdom. Let me ask you a question. As a Packer fan, what's your thoughts on Jordan Love?
Yeah, in regards to draft night, when Jordan Love was drafted, I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all because, I was a little bit surprised they're going up, but I wasn't surprised they drafted Jordan Love because from what I was hearing from fellow YouTubers and specifically Packer YouTubers and otherwise that there was a strong sense of sentiment that the Packers were going to get their quarterback of the future, and they were very high on Love. They fell in love with Love. So, I was thinking there is a high possibility we're going to get Jordan Love here. Twitter's going to go crazy, and we're just going to have to deal with it. So I personally don't have an issue with us getting Jordan Love. I agree with what my late grandfather has been saying for the past 3 years before he passed away. It's time to move on. Aaron, either to retire or to go to a different team. He is my quarterback, but he also sometimes can be a pain in the ass. And otherwise, regards to his ego. But then all quarterbacks have that, just for me. So I think having Jordan Love, and I think with his personality, hopefully his play has shown in practice that he does have a quality to be able to be the next quarterback. But you don't move up in the draft. You don't move up in the first round, even a short amount of spots in that first round to get the quarterback you've been eyeing on and wanting for no reason at all. You do that for a reason, and that reason being he's going to be the successor. He's going to be the quarterback of the future. It might not be next year, might not be in a few years because of the cap hit. It will hit Green Bay to relieve Aaron of his duties. So it might be 2 years minimum for Jordan to take over the throne. But as a Packer fan, I would love, to work out with Jordan, and for me as a Packer fan to keep being spoiled.
Right.
Since 1992, I was born in '88, whatever, 92 with Brett. And so in my life of remembering Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, always being in the playoffs, having 2 Super Bowl rings, 1 for each Hall of Famer. So, hopefully that can continue with Jordan. And he be the successor, and we continue just have a standard of excellence for the 13-time world champions. So that would certainly be great, and I certainly would love that. But reports I'm hearing somewhat of a mixed bag of reception from Jordan practice. But I have to see it with my own eyes in actual games, and of course we don't have preseason, so we won't be seeing it this season. So unless Aaron gets injured, but beyond that, I have had no issue with Jordan being drafted. Kind of was having a feeling it was happening. It's one of those, I had a feeling, but I didn't expect it. And it happened, and it was like, okay. All right. Decision. Packers, you made your decision, right? You make your bed, now you got to lie in it. So, now I think that's how we are moving forward as an organization in regards to the quarterback position. Aaron knows that. He was
when did Aaron Rodgers turn into Brett Favre, though? Because, remember, Brett Favre wasn't too keen on having Aaron Rodgers around. And you figured that Aaron Rodgers would, try to be the mentor for the next guy coming up after him. And he turned into Brett Favre. Like, I'm not understanding. I used to have respect for Aaron Rodgers, man. But, hearing this and seeing that, man, it's different for me.
Yeah, I know, and I get that as well, and I even feel that a little bit as a Green Bay Packers fan, But for me, personally, my number one Packer quarterback of all time is going to and forever be Brett
Okay.
over Bart and over Aaron. Okay, so that's just for me in regards to my own personal bias between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I see what you're saying in regards to turning into Brett in the sense of how it ended and how
Right.
Brett didn't help Aaron, and you would think Aaron would be the other way because he didn't like that.
Right. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
But what I think would happen in regards to Aaron's mind,
Mm-hmm.
though I don't know because it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in his mind, was when
Mm-hmm.
the draft happened and they drafted a quarterback, he thought and was thinking, oh, now I know how Brett felt. Now I know how Brett felt or Favre felt when I was drafted. Now I know how that feeling in regards to the franchise kind of kicking you out of the door without kicking you out of the door.
Right. Right.
So, and now he's on the other foot of the situation, right? He's the veteran. And as much as he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it seem like he's going to be there, he's definitely not as much, not going, being more like how Brett was, and that's unfortunate. But I think as it was reported, they had their talk, Brett and Aaron. They talked to each other after the draft, and I think in that conversation, Brett was telling Aaron, and Aaron was telling Brett, "Yeah, now I know how you felt, and now I know how you saw it, and whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Didn't mean I still didn't like it because he didn't at the
Right.
time, Aaron to Brett,
Right.
but now he gets it
Right.
because Aaron was upset in regards
Uh-huh.
to a quarterback being drafted that way. So, he's not the young veteran. He's not the young kid that wants to, take over and kick the old guy out. Now he's the older guy that Jordan wants to kick out, sort of thing. So, his perspective is different, obviously. When he's young, he's taking over the team. When he's older, he wants to stay here and trying to keep the team. So, it's certainly interesting to see how this dynamic is going to go moving forward.
Right.
Will he play out of his mind, do well, but still ask for a trade next season? Will Green Bay kind of just crumble and decide to, keep him and not have Jordan be the future? I think that would be setting your franchise back if you do that. Even as great as Aaron is, you made that decision as a franchise to draft the quarterback when you did for him. So he is going to be your quarterback, and
Mm-hmm.
and you just go from there. And
Live with it.
be able to
Right.
move forward
Right.
wherever,
Right.
whether he goes to a different team or he just retires. Because
Right.
he doesn't want to be like Brett. So it's one of those he is like Brett, but he doesn't want to be like Brett in regards to leaving to go to another team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now Brett coming back to Green Bay, being the Packer Ring of Honor and the NFL Hall of Fame. Everything for I would say most Packer fans, not all of them, but most are Brett being like a god here in Green Bay. Just as much as Aaron or Bart or the late Bart Starr. But just in that vein, and just in regards to how Aaron done it, it's like its own karma, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you.
For Aaron, from being that young kid that could care less what Brett thought, and he's going to take over this team, to now being the veteran, and
What goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that's basically it right there, man. But I just wanted to know, listen, I'm about to bone out, man. Listen, I'm definitely coming back on your show. I definitely appreciate what you're doing, man. This is my first time coming on and rocking with you like this. I'm definitely coming to see you when we come to crush when you come to Tampa Bay, when you guys come to see us, all right? Salute, respect, man, and don't turn it upside down. Leave it. I'll talk to you, man. I enjoy being on your show, man. We gotta do it again real soon, all right?
yes, sir. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, it was great having him on the show. As we move forward, we're going to be going over the rest of the games. As I already showed in regards to my game of the week, hey, if he wants to, he can rock with me every single week and be my co-host. But he has his own show that he's doing every Tuesday night. So would he want to do double duty? As much as I'm doing double duty? I do double duty every week with my own two shows, but he can rock with me every week if he wants, or just come back for the Tampa Bay week. And that was just a joke in regards to doing it upside down. I didn't mean to disrespect other Tampa Bay fans or the organization. I want, even though I don't feel like I have to say that, sometimes you do because it happened. But I respect all teams and all 32 logos. Because this may sound weird. I am sometimes weird, but I do like logos. Logos. Jacksonville Jaguars, ever since they started in the NFL, I've liked their logo. And I like their teams. And then again, their team, first team in NFL history in regards to an expansion team making it to the playoffs first few years. And don't worry, that was me pointing, not doing what you thought I was doing. But pointing over there. But either way, I'm a Tampa Bay fan. I might have another Tampa Bay person on for that show as well. Anyways, yeah, let's move forward and let's do the other predictions that I already did there for the Buccaneer game with my guest there. Thursday night game on NBC. The kickoff of the season with the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs going up against the Texans. I got the Chiefs over the Texans 24-13. They're in that game. Sunday game starting with the noon games. I got the Eagles against the Washington football team. I'm actually going with the upset. Washington over Philadelphia 16-9. Then moving around, we got the Dolphins and the Patriots in New England. Cam Newton era beginning, however long or short that era to be. But I have New England defeating Miami in a close game, as all divisional games usually are. But I'm going with New England over Miami 23-16. Then for the Colts and Jaguars, like I said, I did the Packer prediction last. Colts and Jaguars, I got the Colts over the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-13. Bears and Lions, NFC North battle in Detroit. We have the new running back there in Detroit, Adrian Peterson. He might be old, but he's also good. I got Detroit over Chicago 16-3. We got the Raiders and the Panthers. I got the Raiders over the Panthers 26-23. The Bills and the Jets. I got the Bills defeating the Jets in Buffalo. Excuse me, 26-16. Browns and Ravens. I got the Ravens over the Browns 32-23. Seahawks and Falcons. I have Seattle over Atlanta 21-16. We got the Chargers and Bengals. Could have been a battle of rookie quarterbacks, but I don't think the rookie will be starting in LA for the Chargers. So I have the Bengals defeating the Chargers 9-3. Whether it's 9-3 or whatever, I do see it as a close game. The Bengals winning by a field goal in the end, no matter what. But my official prediction is Cincinnati 9, LA 3. Bengals win at home. We got the Cardinals and the 49ers, which is actually going to be a good matchup, especially with Arizona having D-Hop on their team now. Danny Hopkins, former Houston Texans wide receiver, paired there with Larry Fitzgerald and, of course, the quarterback Kyle Murray. But I do have the 49ers over the Cardinals, but in a pretty close, tight matchup there. 49ers getting the win 23-20. As we already went through, Buccaneers and the Saints. Then we move forward here for the Sunday Night Football game on NBC. Cowboys against the Rams, the LA Rams. I have Dallas defeating LA. Getting the win on the road. Cowboys over the Rams 32-28 in that matchup. We have the doubleheader for Monday Night Football, as is the regular for Week 1, both on ESPN. First one at 6 p.m. Central. We have the Steelers against the Giants. I'm going to go with the Steelers over the Giants in a game that's good, but the Steelers kind of pulling away in the end, 28-13. At 9:20 p.m. Central, for the second half of the Monday Night Football game, the Broncos probably have without Von Miller, let alone for the whole season, for sure for this game. And the Titans getting Jadeveon Clowney. So I'm going with the Titans over the Broncos 26-21. They're in that matchup. The Packers and the Vikings. I'm rocking my team. I'm going with the Packers over the Vikings 26-23. Getting a win there. A lot of close matchups. Hopefully not too many injured players, it's the whole NFL. But we'll certainly have to see in that regard. I thank you all for watching this episode. Go over and check out his podcast. Like I said, I've seen in the past, just been so busy with COVID and life and other things for myself. Forgot exactly where he has that. But I will find all that stuff and let you all know for the next time he is on here. So I'm more prepared. But I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And above all else, as always, take care.